You know that classic image of a hacker? Someone huddled in a dark room, furiously typing away, spending weeks trying to find a single weakness? Well, you can pretty much throw that image out the window. That picture is being completely rewritten by artificial intelligence. Today, we're going to talk about a whole new kind of threat, one that operates at a speed and scale that, honestly, felt like science fiction just a couple of years ago.
Okay, so let's get right into it. This really shows you the massive shift we're talking about. Over on the left, you've got the old way. One person, maybe a small team, spending weeks, sometimes months, doing manual analysis. It was slow, it was painstaking. Now, look at the right, the AI way. What took all those weeks now takes minutes. This isn't just a little faster, it's a complete revolution in how cyber attacks even begin. And this revolution has created what you can only describe as a new kind of digital predator. This isn't just a faster tool in the toolbox. It's a smarter, more efficient, and way more dangerous adversary. Let's dig into how it actually hunts. To really get this, we have to talk about its hunting ground, reconnaissance. Now, recon is the first step in any serious attack. It's the intel gathering phase. But with AI, it's not just gathering info anymore, it's been transformed into this high-speed, predictive intelligence pipeline. It's all about figuring out your weaknesses before the attack even starts. So how in the world does it work? Well, attackers are now using what you can basically think of as an AI reconnaissance engine. It's a whole system designed to automatically map, analyze, and model an entire target organization. So job number one for this engine is to map the entire digital footprint. And I mean everything. Every single digital asset a company has connected to the internet, whether they know it's there or not. The goal here is to leave absolutely no stone unturned, creating a perfect, comprehensive map of the target. And just look at the sheer breadth of what this thing scrapes. It's staggering. It's not just looking at a website, it's pulling DNS records, mapping out all their cloud assets, digging through public GitHub code, and even analyzing all the connections to their vendors and supply chain. It's building this multidimensional picture of the organization, and it's doing it all on its own. But, mapping is really only half the story. Once the AI has this detailed external map, it starts asking, what if? It uses machine learning to predict what the internal structure looks like, and then runs thousands of different attack simulations to find the absolute path of least resistance. And this is where it gets kind of mind-blowing. These models can actually predict the role of a device. They can look at subtle clues and say, hey, that looks like a jump box an attacker could use to pivot deeper into the network. It's like a detective piecing together a crime from tiny, scattered clues. The AI does this for an entire corporate network, spotting tiny misconfigurations, figuring out who has special access, and modeling all the likely paths an attacker could take once they're inside. It's literally building a blueprint of the inside of the building from the outside. So, what fuels this predator? What does it eat? Well, the answer is pretty simple: data. Massive, incredibly diverse data sets that it just consumes to learn and get better at planning its attacks. This chart gives you a pretty good idea of the data cocktail it's drinking. You've got open source intelligence, OSINT, stuff like job postings. It's slurping up leaked data from old breaches. It scrapes social media, organizational metadata, raw network data, you name it. By fusing all of this together, the AI gets a 360-degree view that no human analyst could ever hope to assemble. And that's the crucial point right there. The real power of this AI comes from its ability to correlate all these different data sources at a scale and speed that is just fundamentally impossible for a human being. It sees connections and patterns that are totally invisible to us. For instance, it can build what's called an identity graph. Basically, it figures out the company's org chart and who has the keys to the kingdom, all from public data. It can instantly connect a known vulnerability with the exact software versions it finds out in the wild. It can even mine behavioral patterns, like when certain teams log in, so it can time an attack to be as stealthy as possible. And all of this, the mapping, the simulation, the data correlation, it all leads to one final devastating output: a perfect, optimized, and totally ready to execute attack plan. So here's how it all comes together. First, the AI fuses all that data it collected. Then it models the relationships between people and systems. Step 3, it predicts the weakest links in the entire chain. And finally, it generates the single most optimal path to get to the crown jewels. This quote from the source material, man, it just says it all. The kill chain is that sequence of steps an attacker has to take to succeed.
What we're looking at here is the automation of that entire process. It's not just a plan anymore. It's an automated weapon, just waiting to be fired.
So this brings us to the most important question, right? What does this mean for cybersecurity? How on earth do you defend against a threat that thinks faster and sees more than you do? The big takeaway here is that this isn't just an incremental step up. This is a fundamental change in the entire security landscape. The speed, the scale, and the predictive power of AI-driven attacks mean that our old reactive ways of doing defense, well, they're just not going to cut it anymore. The game has completely changed. And that leaves us with one final and really critical question. We are entering an AI arms race. It's that simple. If attackers are using AI to build these perfect attack crafts to find a way in, then the only real defense is to use AI to find those weaknesses first. The future of security is all about learning to see your own organization through the eyes of this new digital predator.